Right, let's get on to the meaty stuff. This Saturday at the O2 Arena, Joyce against Chisora. Go big or go home. Can't fucking wait. On the undercard of that, we've got McCann versus Baluta. We've got Atuma versus Vac. Garner versus Sharp. Chapman versus Barney Smith versus Barajas. Noakes versus Bassi, and a few other chumps as well. But let's talk about the main event. Who watched the old Gloves Are Off?
Yeah, it was brilliant.
I pissed myself.
Oh, it's so funny.
He said, Chisora said he firing blanks. It was fucking car crash TV. I loved it.
I felt bad for Joe because Joe just couldn't live with the trash talk. Just had no business in that trash talking room with him. Derek's the master at it, and Joe's just, he struggles, like, bless him.
Yeah.
When it comes to that, doesn't it? He just doesn't really, gets all tied up in knots and doesn't know what to say. And you almost want to go in there and just give the geezer a hug, man. Go, you know what, it's going to be all right, Joe.
Yeah,
it's over in about 10 minutes. Just
did you find yourself when Chisora is so, like, Chisora old manned him? It was like a nonchalant, like he had his sort of chin on his hand, didn't he? And it was just like, it was effortless. It was like, Chisora's done all of these Gloves Are Off before. He's been there, done it, bought the T-shirt. But yeah, he just old man him, just making him dance to his tune. You know, you feel, I was finishing sentences for Joe when he was like, "You're not about this world. Come on, Joe, you're not about this world." I was like, say to him, fucking ask Joe Parker, am I about this world? Like, Joe Parker beat you twice, but he had no fucking comeback, did he?
The bit with the wagging the finger.
Yeah,
he started wagging the finger, and then they'd moved on to another, almost like, went to another topic, and then out of the blue he went, "Don't wag your finger," Joe Joyce. And he go, half put his finger up. I'm thinking, we've moved on now from that. Fuck, it was like a delayed reaction.
And Chisora goes, "Come on, mate." He goes, "Your whole team pussies," like that. And then Joe Joyce goes, "Well, you're a pussy." And Chisora goes, "Why are you calling me a pussy? I didn't call you a pussy." He went, "All right, you're not a pussy." He goes, "See, you're not about this life." I thought, just, come on, Joe.
You said it's not about this world a minute ago, John.
Huh?
You said not about this world a minute ago. I thought, what's he going on about? This
fucking me?
World. Yeah, you did.
Not about this life, innit? Not about this world.
Yeah, but you said world a minute ago.
Oh, did I? Well, fucking. Yeah. I mean, there are times when he's not.
A Joe Joyce moment.
Yeah, it was brilliant. It was brilliant to watch. I knew it was going to be nothing but.
Dev Sani, though, I felt like that was his first one at doing that. So
he
just
didn't
a
have to
word
do fuck
Dev.
all, did he, Dev Sandwich?
I thought he could have interjected a little bit more, stirred the pot. Adi Oladipo is brilliant at it, by the way. I thought he's really good. Johnny Nelson's the master at it because he's done so many of them. But I thought Dev could have butted in a few times and stirred the pot a bit. Not a bad first effort, but I thought, like, yeah, at one point I think, why is Dev even there? Because Derek's not listening to any of these questions. No matter what he asks him, Derek just has this like moment where he's silent. And he just comes out of just random shit he wants to come out with. And I'm like, fuck it, all right, Dev. Obviously, he's not listening to you at all. But good effort.
I mean, Dev. At the end of the day, they have earpieces in. So so when you feel, oh, fucking hell, that was a great question. That was a great question. Like, they've got an earpiece in. Someone's telling them what to say. Do you know what I mean? To interject. But I don't know. I thought Chisora was... yeah.
I didn't think... Really?
Yeah. Didn't you see that one with Johnny Nelson where you could hear the earpiece? You could hear he had an earpiece on. Yeah, of course they have.
Oh, you got to send me that. I've never seen that.
Yeah, man.
Who was it?
You don't think they have? So what? When they're doing live TV, you don't. What,
think they're feeding them questions in the ear?
Of course they are, bruv.
No, they fucking ain't.
They are.
Who's feeding the questions? Frank.
The fucking producers, isn't it? Or, yeah, maybe they're. Yeah, or maybe Frank. Yeah.
No, that'll fuck the interview up. Imagine that. You got something you want to say. You want to ad lib off of something what someone said, and you got some donut in your ear hole.
Maybe it's a bit of both.
It's nonsense.
It's none. All right, well, listen, let me say this. This was the most important thing that was said of the Gloves Are Off. Chisora said, "I'm going to come out southpaw."
Yeah, I heard that.
Obviously not.
I think that's going to be bollocks. Never seen him southpaw in his whole fucking career.
We never see Dillian White southpaw.
Yeah, look how that turned out for him.
Well,
it's not going to happen.
It's just a little, he's planted a little seed, you know, he's saying he ain't going to do the Five Guys, he's going to go for the Chinese. He was bringing up the whole Azili sang, which I thought was a bit of a liberty, because, you know, like, we're talking, you know, Anthony Yardies, he made a massive mistake there with Frank and all the Saudi money, but like one of the biggest mistakes I've seen in boxing is Joe Joyce. He didn't have to fight Zhang. It's a fucking It weren't ordered. There was no reason to do it. You were sitting there, weren't you, with the mandatory to the WBO. That was a voluntary, wasn't it, to go and fight Zhang because people were tied up. But now looking back at what Zhang's doing, wasn't it? Oh fuck! It's cost him millions.
There's two ways to look at it, isn't there? But you're right. It's lost him a load of money. But there's two ways to look at it. One, you got to give him absolute full credit for taking a fight of that magnitude against someone who is as good as Zhang is. I mean, we knew he was good before the Joyce fights. Now we know he's absolutely mustard. But do you go, well done, Joe, you deserve all the credit there? Or do you go, that was a complete fucking cock-up and you ruin your career, really? And yeah, in a nutshell, nobody really cares about the credit for Joe. They all just say, well, Joe's done now after that and it's ruined his career. So it's a sad situation in a way.
I just feel like he's got his weight wrong. His career best performance, right, was against Joe Parker, probably, yeah? Or Dubois. Against Dubois, he come in at 258. Very light. You could see how shredded he was. Light, and he was able to, get out of the way of the Dubois shots. A lot more lateral movement than you'd ever see from Joe Joyce in his professional career in that fight. Even though he got hit a lot, his chin was holding up as well back then, but this is 4 years ago. It's a different Joe Joyce. Yeah, people just get older. It happens to all of us. And he goes in to the Joe Parker fight, and I think this is his optimum weight. He weighed in at 271, and he had a good blend of, being able to move around, hold a shot, have his gas tank last as well. And then I think he made a massive mistake in the first Zhang fight. He tried to come in at the same sort of weight that he was against Dubois. It was 256 against Zhang. It's just too light for him as he's gotten older and filled out a little bit. So I think he paid the price there. And in the rematch against Zhang, he was 281. He's gone back to being super heavy. 286 against Cash Ali, where he just looked overweight and just slow and sluggish. And he was getting pinged, from Cash Ali as well, that overhand right, couldn't miss with it. He just needs to get to something sort of around 265, 270, I think, for this fight. So I'm interested to see what they weigh in at, because I think it really matters with Joe Joyce. It affects his style so much, either way, if he's either too light or too heavy. I know that's an obvious statement, but I think it's more obvious for someone with the style of Joe Joyce. But let's see what happens with his weight.
Johnny B?
Yeah, I mean, you got Joe Joyce. He throws good straight punches. I think he's got a decent jab. I think he's underrated. Ask Daniel Dubois. I think he's got a very good jab. So I'm looking at someone. He's tall, rangy. He's got a good jab, good 1-2, and then I'm looking at Chisora. He's going to come. He's going to put it on you, and he throws really good hooks. Do you know what I mean? He dips, he slips, he rolls, and he just comes over the top. I can see him landing with that overhand right. I see him, dipping, coming over with that overhand right. And I don't know if I've ever seen a fight with Joe Joyce not get hit with that shot. So I wonder, is he going to have PTSD from the whole Zhang fight? Does he? Is it just Zhilei Zhang? I mean, Zhilei Zhang's fucking dropped everyone, hasn't he? Like, he hits so fucking hard. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe you just, that was styles make fight. You just met some guy that, he hits hard, but, he's got the timing. He seems to be able to get off these shots at exactly that right distance. And that's why there's so much power with Zhang. Is, Chisora going to do that moving forward, being a bit of a brawler? Does it just ping off his head like we've seen before? I don't know. Chisora, I'm thinking to myself, like, how many times can this guy go to the well? Like, he's had 48 fights. And how many times have we seen him in his career when we're like, oh, he's done, surely. Yeah. Like, I think he's slowed down Chisora. I don't think he's the same fighter that he was, sorry. I think my prediction is this. I think Joyce wins the fight. I know they're both, I think Joyce is 38, isn't he? So I know he's old as well, but I think in terms of his stamina, I think his gas tank, maybe he's looked after himself better. I don't know. I just feel like he's a fitter, stronger guy with a better gas tank. And I feel that if he sets a fast tempo, if he can get behind that jab, I think he can win the fight. I think he can win the fight on points. I don't know if I see him. Can he stop Chisora? I don't know. Chisora's definitely slowed down. It's a good fight. I'm intrigued by it. And going back to what we said earlier, because of that decision with Zhilei Zhang, I really hope Joyce wins this fight and then he gets the Batman call when he gets on that Saudi card out there. I know he's probably earned a decent, whack anyway. But I'd like him to get a little bit of Saudi money because I think he is a good guy. He's one that, I don't think he is off that world that Chisora talks about. And I want to see him get a big payday. I think Chisora's earned a load of money, isn't he? He's been pay-per-view at the O2 number of times. I don't think Joyce has earned anywhere near as much money as Chisora has. So, I'm team Joyce for this fight.
What are you saying about the weight, John? Joe's weight.
I agree with what Kai said. Yeah, I remember we spoke about that before when he came in against Zhang. Was it the first fight he came in and he was too light, wasn't he? He didn't like this. I say, innit, I like a little bit of flesh on the heavyweights. He was too light.
Too heavy in the rematch. 280 something in the rematch. So he just went from one extreme to the other. He needed to be in the middle somewhere. I don't think it would have mattered because I think Zhang hits that hard, probably knock you out either way. But I think in this fight, it's going to really matter because Chisora's going to do one thing and he's going to just march forward, isn't he? He's going to slip under the jabs and try and throw those overhand rights, hooks to the body. What about you, Unc? What do you reckon?
Well, I agree. The weight is a big, big factor. Putting aside Fury, Usyk, AJ, not convinced Joe beats them. But everyone else, had Joe come in at that lighter weight against most of the other heavyweights, I actually think he'd have been all right. And I think he'd have given a lot of the other heavyweights a really good fight. So it's just that he come up a bit against Zhang, who is so big and hits so hard that, yes, it didn't look like the correct weight at the time. But I think against other people, that would have been all right. However, second one, way too big. That same weight that he was in the second fight, he was in the Cash Ali fight. And as we saw as well, that didn't work. So, yes, he's definitely got to come in a lot lighter. That weight in the Cash Ali fight tells me that he weren't really up for that fight. He didn't really train hard enough for that fight. And at the end of the day, if you're going from Parker to Zhang to Cash Ali, then I can kind of understand it. You're not going to be too keen on it. But hopefully he's bound to be up for this fight. And I'm sure he's coming in at a lighter weight. Yeah, around about I think it was 255 for the first Zhang fight. But late 260s, 270. That sounds about right.
For him.
Yeah. So, he can hit that mark. Assuming he comes in at that, we should see him at his best, really. What has Zhang taken out of him? I don't know. We're about to see that. Is he a little bit more? I mean, he's bound to have taken something, even if it's just a tiny bit of your punch resistance or the way you perceive a punch coming at you now. It'll make you think about it more and you'll be a little bit more fearful of it at the end of the day from what Zhang's done. I guarantee that. So I don't know if he's going to be a bit sheepish at times, but assuming he's not, assuming he comes in like he used to when he was fighting Parker, when he's fighting Dubois, and he was happy to take one on the chin and just keep firing back, then he absolutely annihilates Chisora. Chisora's bound to land a few of these big overhand rights as we keep talking about. And I think he's going to land on him multiple times all night because it's just Joe Joyce, isn't it? So, however, I think Chisora's done. That Gerald Washington fight was absolutely abysmal in my eyes. I was looking at the Gerald Washington fight thinking, well, you ain't got nothing left. Whereas I was looking at the Cash Ali fight for Joe and I was thinking, if you get yourself back in shape and if you're up for the fight, I think you can do a lot more. But Chisora, I don't think he's got enough left. He'll be game for the first 6 or 7 rounds, but I don't think he's got his time in there anymore. I don't think he's going to be able to have that ferocity anymore because of the fitness aspect of it. And I think he's going to be unraveling after the halfway stage. And I think Joe's gas tank is just going to be the key factor in this. And I think it goes the distance because I don't know if Joe's got enough to knock out Chisora. He's certainly game and it is his last fight at the O2 Arena. Don't discount that because this man is going to be game. But I think Joe Joyce in the late rounds is just going to be having his way with Chisora, and that'll be that. The output will be way too much, and he might sort of stop him late around about 10, 11, 12, I think. But I do see it possibly 12 rounds, and Joe picking up a UD win.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm pretty much in the same camp. I mean, do you know what I see the other day, just quickly? It was Dave Allen and Usyk said the hardest puncher that they've fought is Derek Chisora. Did you see that?
Yeah.
The hardest, can't have that.
Yeah, that's what I said. Both come out and said it. Derek Chisora.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but
but Dave Allen ain't even fought Chisora.
Sparring.
Fought Luis Ortiz.
Yeah, but okay.
Sparring.
I'm just saying sparring. So
he hasn't fought Chisora. Right? He hasn't fought Chisora. He ain't even fought Chisora.
Who?
Dave Allen.
Yeah, sparring. I'm only fucking don't shoot a messenger. I'm just repeating what he said.
But then Uzi sparred that he's going to go full pelt.
Who?
Dave Allen.
He sparred everyone, isn't he?
I'm not convinced on Chisora's power. I'm not. No, name is knockout.
Arsh Takan.
Name is knock. Yeah, no, hold on.
Takan.
Hold on. Top 10 heavyweights. Name is knockouts.
Spilka. That was a good one.
Yeah.
After about 2 rounds, nearly took his head.
Spilka, David Price.
Price.
Yeah, but these people are not. I mean, no offense to David Price. I love David Price, but a lot of people knocked out David Price. A lot of people knocked out Spilka. Spilka got knocked out by fucking Rosansky. So, you know what I mean? Name someone in the top 15, top 10 or top 15 that he's either put on the floor or knocked out.
The Deliveroo driver.
Exactly, yeah.
Do you know what? Talking about that Deliveroo driver, I think, look, when Derek says that Joe's not about this life, I think if that's Joe sitting there with having lunch and a Deliveroo driver walks through and gives it to him, I don't think Joe really does anything. He just stands there, looks big, and doesn't do what Derek does. Derek don't give a fuck. He just don't care. And I think the fact that he doesn't care might be the reason why he wins this fight, because I think Joe's just got demons now. You saw that in the Cash Ali fight. You saw that in the second Zhang fight. I think Chisora could.
Yes, to knock him out.
Chisora could win this. Look, there's two ways this plays out. Right, Tyson Fury, what he did to Chisora was stay out of range, use his boxing, work behind the jab, and it was just volume. In the end, Chisora ran out of gas, and the referee had to stop it. If Joe can manage something like that, stay on the back foot, keep Chisora off of him, and flick the jab out, then Joe Joyce can win this on point. But I just don't think Joe Joyce has got that type of output in a fight. And you see Christian Hammer pinging. Not anymore. No, he ain't got that anymore. Look at the Cash Ali fight. Go and watch that. He was just throwing jabs. And it was
you saying Chisora's going to stop him?
You saying Chisora's going to have more output than
Just
Joe?
let him speak.
100%.
Let him unravel.
Yeah, so you've fucked me now. I've got to start again. No, what I'm saying is if Joe can keep him at the end of the jab, keep his feet moving, then Joe can win this on points. But I don't think that. I think that Joe Joyce is gone. And I think Chisora, he just don't care. He will walk through anything that Joe Joyce is throwing, because Joe Joyce can't knock people out with one shot. He hasn't done his whole career. And I think Chisora works enough on the inside and throws enough overhand rights to take enough rounds to beat Joe Joyce on points. That's what I'm going for. Chisora on points. And look, the way Joe Joyce stops that from happening, though, is hold. Just hold. When Chisora's in, you fucking hold. Don't start trying to throw with him, because you ain't about that life, as we've established already. But
do you know what's happened? This is a blatant example of when a prediction goes to your head, isn't it? That Brad Paul's prediction's gone to your head. But stay with it, bruv. Stay strong.
Be back here next week, boys. You'll see.
So are you going Chisora?
He's fucking gone for it.
Chisora wins on points or stops him late.
Oh,
basically the complete opposite.
Really?
You know what, though? I'll just quickly say before you say it, what does worry me is that if Chisora, as he does maraud forward and he does that whole, he keeps his chin down well, but at the same time, I'm saying this, I don't remember Chisora getting hit clean with uppercuts. Like, he don't seem to fall in over his front foot. Comes in, chin down, that old Marvin Hagler style sort of dip in. He throws enough little feints downstairs, and then, Joyce drops his hand. That overhand right is going to connect, but yeah,
it's going to connect a lot in this fight.
I think you're living in Narnia, Kaya. I've got to be honest. So you're saying, right, I've got to come back here. Let's have the debate. So you're saying that Joyce's output, right?
It's deteriorated over the years.
Okay, say it has, but still in the Cash Ali fight, he had a lot of output, and he just
100%.
absolutely, he still threw more punches than most heavyweights, because he's got a great gas tank. Even though they weren't the most devastating punches, and I agree, it weren't a good fight, and it weren't his best look, but still the output was there. It weren't always landing, but it was there.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
He's always throwing. Joyce?
I thought he looked terrible against Cash Ali.
Cash Ali's a spoiler.
Absolutely
He's
terrible.
a spoiler.
That Chisora would have knocked Cash Ali out.
What I'm saying is, so you're saying that with Joe's output, Chisora wins on points through landing.
Because of the cleaner work.
But how many? He'd have to.
I think
You're talking about the overhand right. He'll have to land like hundreds of overhand rights all night.
No, Chisora throws a lot of body shots. Underrated. He does go downstairs a lot, Chisora. Especially when he's in close. If he goes downstairs and then Joe Joyce is trying to, get him off of him, you can see them overhand just coming up. Coming over the top.
I think Kyle wants to change his pick. You know that now. You're just trying him a new one. I
always thought Chisora for this fight. I think Joe Joyce
on points, though.
Sad
on points.
Yeah, on points.
I could see knockout.
I could see not points.
I said late stoppage or points.
No, little backtrack now. Look.
Right, if you want to, put a gun to me head. I'll go Chisora on points. I will. Gun to me. I wouldn't be surprised if he stops him. Yeah, really.
Really.
Yeah, really.
I want to see that on your betting slip, bruv.
I'll be posting it. Don't worry about it. I just think Joyce is done. I just think Joyce is done.
Yeah, but
I just think it's a mentality thing. I just think it's a mentality thing. Look at Chisora's resume. Who starts Chisora? He's been in there with Fury 3 times. Hasn't been starched. He's been starched twice in his career. I think it was Dillian White and David A. I mean, Usyk's on there. Joe Parker twice. One was a split decision.
All right. Okay. I'll come back at it then. Because I've done a video on it yesterday. What do you reckon on this stat? In the 12 fights that Chisora has gone the full 12 rounds, he's won 2 of them.
It's not great.
And one of them was against Kevin Johnson.
But you've got to look at the opposition.
Listen, Unk. I think that we should give him the opportunity right now to flip-flop.
No chance.
On these
I'm not like you, mate. I'll stand by my decisions.
He ain't flip-flopping. He's high off that Paul's prediction.
I'm going with it. Chisora on points.
He's changed his holiday. He's going Cornwall for his holiday.
I'm telling you now. And also, the Caballero loss looks like a decent loss now, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I agree.
On points, wasn't it, that loss?
Yeah, it was on points. He was terrible that night. Chisora's got a chin on him. And he can do the rounds. Fact. There was no evidence to suggest that Chisora won't be there at the last bell with this. He ain't going to wither away and get stopped unless Joyce does what I said, what Tyson Fury did to him. And I don't know if Joyce has got that game anymore. That Joyce from Daniel Dubois is gone. It's gone.
Do you think Chisora convincingly beat Gerald Washington?
It wasn't convincing. It was shocking, but it's Gerald Washington in front of him. This is a bigger fight. It's headlining the O2.
Well, exactly. Right, I see what you're saying. Okay.
It's had the face-off. It's Joe Joyce. They've got a bit of history. He's going to want to go out of a bang. He's not going to give a shit.
Joe Joyce, he was like top 5, wasn't he? Before the Zhilei Zhang fight, people were saying he's top 5. He's a problem for anyone.
Yeah.
Two
he's
losses,
a nice guy.
2 losses to Zhilei Zhang. Now all of a sudden he's going to get beat on points by Chisora.
He's a nice guy.
There's a reason Chisora didn't take this fight 6 years ago.
They're both
you're
old.
Going to see the reason.
They've both seen better days. But I'm standing by my decision, and we will see.
We can't convince him, Johnny B. We can't convince him. He's staying strong.
I
admire that, bruv. You're a proud man.
You've got to have friends that have got strong convictions, no matter what. I'm telling you something now.
Whoa.
If Chisora wins on points, I 100%. I'm not doing the pod next week.
I tell you what, I know. I'm retiring on a low.
It's over.
Do you know what? I've got to say, if there was a dream team now of us 3, I'd be fucking destroying a pair of you melts.
Oh, shut up, man. You're the only one who just barks about your fucking...
You don't get any right. You don't get any right. The only one you've got right, the geezer, was on fucking roids.
How about Jack Cullen?
What about Jack Cullen?
Yeah, fucking hell, mate.
You got Jack Cullen right, and you're fucking shouting that off the rooftops. Behave.
Well, there we are. So me and Johnny B...
last week.
Me and Johnny B are stoppage to points for
you
Joe.
Think he's stopping Chisora? Are you two?
Yeah, I think.
I'm not saying. I don't think in a million years. Not saying a million years. I don't think Joe's going to knock him out, but I think it could be an overpowering that the referee steps in or he gets pulled out by the corner. However, he may not actually get pulled out by the corner because it is his last hurrah. So, but I wouldn't be surprised with a ref stoppage. But honestly, if Joe just completely knackers him, I actually wouldn't be surprised as well if he knocks him out late, because if Chisora's just fucking wobbling all over the place, just absolutely shattered, got nothing left, which is very possible, then Joe might have a free shot like he did at Parker. I think this could be exact same as what he did to Parker.
If Chisora wins on points, I'm going to go and find G-Man and start a podcast with
him. Yeah. Well, you're sacked from this one. You're too fucking good.
Yeah.
All right.
What's the undercard say?
When you put the videos on Proper Boxing, there's two idiots and the Messiah review.
Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. I'll tell you what. All right, we'll make this bet right now. If Chisora wins on points, the next video I put up will be me and Johnny B plus the God of Boxing talk about X-Fight.
The Messiah. Has to be the Messiah.
All right. That's the bet. All right. I will happily do that. All right, Atuma versus Wack.